What if the reason Keanu Reeves stayed single was not fame, not money, and not lack of love, but a pain so deep he never talks about it? While Hollywood celebrates relationships and breakups, Keanu chose silence. No headlines. No drama. Just one quiet decision that changed his life forever. And once you hear the real reason, you'll see Keanu Reeves in a completely different way. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into what really happened in a world where fame, money, and luxury are often seen as the ultimate definition of happiness. Keanu Reeves made a choice that quietly surprised Hollywood. While many celebrities chase attention, public relationships, and constant media validation, Keanu chose a different path. One built on silence, simplicity, and personal boundaries. At the height of his success, when cameras followed his every move and fame opened every door, Keanu did something unexpected. He stepped away, not from his career, but from the noise surrounding it. He avoided flashy lifestyles, stayed away from public romances, and refused to turn his personal life into a headline. In an industry where relationships are often shared for publicity, Keanu remained private, calm, and grounded. Naturally, people began to ask questions. Why is Keanu Reeves still single? Why doesn't he speak openly about his relationships? Why does someone with everything choose such a quiet life? The internet has offered endless theories. Some say he never met the right person. Others believe fame changed him or that he simply prefers being alone. But these surface-level explanations miss the deeper truth. The real reason is not rooted in mystery or drama. It is rooted in experience, emotional depth, and personal understanding. Keanu Reeves is often seen as an action hero or a Hollywood legend, but that image tells only part of the story. Behind the calm smile, humble behavior, and respectful attitude is a man who has lived through profound emotional moments. His life has taught him that relationships are not trophies, and love is not something to be rushed or displayed for approval. He understands that real connection requires emotional presence, honesty, and responsibility. And rather than force himself into expectations set by society or Hollywood culture, Keanu chose authenticity over appearance. To him, staying silent is not avoidance, it is self-respect. Staying single is not weakness, it is awareness. And to truly understand why Keanu Reeves chose this path, we must look beyond fame and success. We must understand the life experiences that shaped his heart, his values, and his quiet strength. Because his story is not about being alone, but about living truthfully. Keanu Reeves' journey to success was never easy or smooth. Long before he became a global star, his life was shaped by instability, uncertainty, and emotional challenges that most people never see behind the fame. As a child, Keanu experienced constant change. His father left when he was very young, and his family moved frequently from one place to another. Because of this, he rarely felt a sense of permanence or emotional security during his early years. This unsettled childhood quietly shaped his personality. Instead of becoming loud or attention-seeking, Keanu grew inward, learning to rely on himself and observe the world carefully. Even as he entered Hollywood and began to achieve success, he carried this emotional depth with him. However, the most painful chapters of his life came later, after fame had already found him. In the late 1990s, Keanu Reeves was in a serious relationship with actress Jennifer Syme. By many public accounts, this was a deeply meaningful and private relationship for him. They were looking forward to building a life together and preparing to welcome a child. But tragedy struck when their baby was stillborn, an experience that brought overwhelming grief to both of them. The loss deeply affected their lives and placed immense emotional strain on their relationship. While they tried to move forward, the pain of losing a child left a lasting mark on Keanu's heart. Just months later, another devastating event occurred. Jennifer Syme passed away in a car accident. In an incredibly short span of time, Keanu Reeves lost both his child and the woman he loved. This was not a moment of simple heartbreak, it was a level of emotional devastation that permanently reshaped his inner world. People close to Keanu have noted that after these events, he changed, not in a negative way, but in a deeply reflective one. He did not express anger publicly, nor did he allow grief to turn into bitterness. Instead, he became more private, more thoughtful, and far more protective of his emotions. From that point on, love was no longer something casual for Keanu Reeves. It became something deeply meaningful, sacred, and serious, something that deserved patience, respect, and emotional honesty, even if that meant choosing solitude over risk. Keanu Reeves has never said that he is against love. In fact, interviews and public statements suggest the opposite. He believes deeply in love, connection, and emotional intimacy. But what sets Keanu apart from many people, especially in Hollywood, is that he understands the weight and responsibility that love carries. For him, love is not a game, a headline, or a public spectacle. It is a commitment that requires honesty, presence, and care. After the personal tragedies he experienced, Keanu developed a profound understanding of how fragile human relationships can be. He knows that attachment is not just about shared moments of joy, it can also carry deep vulnerability. Loss and pain are part of life, but Keanu has seen firsthand how careless words, expectations, or rushed relationships can leave lasting emotional scars. Because of this awareness, Keanu Reeves made a conscious choice. He would rather remain single than enter a relationship without giving his full heart and presence. He has never felt the need to chase romantic validation for the sake of public approval, social norms, or to avoid loneliness. Instead, he prioritizes authenticity, emotional honesty, and respect for both himself and anyone he might love. In Hollywood, a world where relationships are often fast, performative, and magnified by the media, this choice is rare and remarkably courageous. Many celebrities are pressured to maintain public romances or share personal details for the sake of attention, but Keanu has consistently chosen privacy and integrity over spectacle. Keanu does not fear being alone. In fact, he embraces solitude as a time for reflection, growth, and understanding. What he fears is hurting someone else through carelessness or being unable to offer the emotional depth a real relationship deserves. This is why casual dating, highly publicized relationships, or media-driven romance have never been appealing to him. For Keanu Reeves, love is not entertainment. It is a serious responsibility, something sacred that should never be treated lightly. His choice to step away from Hollywood's romantic expectations shows a man who values truth, respect, and emotional maturity. By doing so, he demonstrates that sometimes the bravest act of love is not to pursue it publicly, but to protect it quietly, honoring both himself and the people he cares about. Many people assume that being single automatically means being lonely. For Keanu Reeves, however, this could not be further from the truth. He has often shared, in interviews and public statements, that solitude can be one of the most peaceful and meaningful experiences in life. Being alone does not signify emptiness for him. It represents a chance to reflect, grow, and embrace life fully without relying on others for validation. Keanu has always preferred simplicity over extravagance. He finds joy in small, everyday moments that most people overlook, reading quietly on subways, riding motorcycles through open roads, or simply enjoying peaceful time alone. These moments, he believes, nurture the mind and spirit, allowing him to remain centered even in a fast-paced, chaotic world. He does not need constant companionship to feel complete. Instead, he focuses on being fully present with himself and with those around him. Keanu has also expressed that happiness is not about chasing constant joy or avoiding pain. True happiness, according to him, comes from accepting life as it is, acknowledging loss and hardship, learning from experiences, and still choosing kindness and generosity. This philosophy is evident not only in his personal life but also in the way he interacts with the world. Despite immense wealth and fame, he lives modestly, treats strangers with respect, and donates millions to charity, often anonymously. For Keanu, choosing to remain single is not a form of escape or avoidance. It is a deliberate, conscious decision to live honestly and authentically. He does not feel the need to force happiness or pretend to be emotionally whole when he is still processing his own experiences. Instead, he embraces solitude as a way to heal, reflect, and live a life aligned with his values. Perhaps this is why Keanu Reeves inspires so many people around the world. In a society that often celebrates noise, drama, and constant activity, Keanu chose silence. In a culture obsessed with rushing through life and relationships, he chose patience. His lifestyle teaches a powerful lesson: that peace, self-respect, and inner strength are often more valuable than public attention or temporary validation. In a world where people fear being alone, Keanu Reeves shows that solitude, when embraced wisely, can be one of the greatest gifts of all. Keanu Reeves may not wear his heart on social media or share every detail of his life with the public, but his actions speak louder than words. In a world obsessed with celebrity relationships, public displays of affection, and constant media attention, Keanu quietly demonstrates that being single is not a failure. It is not a sign of weakness or a lack of love. Instead, it can be a deliberate, thoughtful choice rooted in self-respect, emotional awareness, and personal integrity. His story reminds us that love does not always need to follow society's expectations or look a certain way to be meaningful. For Keanu, love is deeply personal, sacred, and carries responsibility. It is not about status, recognition, or fleeting happiness. This perspective has allowed him to navigate life in a way that is authentic and true to his values, even when the world around him pressures people to conform. Keanu also shows us that it is okay to step back, take time to heal, and prioritize emotional health. Life is not a race, and rushing into relationships or forcing happiness can sometimes do more harm than good. By choosing patience, reflection, and quiet strength, he teaches that true courage lies in being honest with oneself and respecting one's own boundaries. He didn't stay single because he could not love again. He stayed single because he loves deeply and understands the weight and cost of that love. He knows that connection, trust, and emotional presence require time, effort, and sincerity, qualities he is unwilling to compromise for convenience or public approval. In a society that often fears loneliness, Keanu embraced inner peace instead of chasing validation. In a culture focused on appearances, he chose substance over show. And perhaps this is the most important lesson his life offers: that strength, dignity, and fulfillment are often found not in what we display to the world, but in the quiet decisions we make for ourselves. Keanu Reeves' journey inspires millions not through speeches, flashy gestures, or headlines, but through the silent courage of living life on his own terms. He shows that it is possible to honor your own heart, protect your emotional well-being, and live a meaningful life even without constant attention, public recognition, or conventional romantic milestones. His story encourages all of us to value inner peace, self-respect, and emotional honesty above all else, and that is a lesson worth remembering.